Okay guys, so here's the bricks that I was talking about earlier. They are 1800 degrees centigrade rated, so they should be plenty good for the job. They were quite good, they were quite cheap, they were only about $3 each, and they're actually 300 long instead of the normal brick size, so it gives me a little bit more depth in the forge foundry. Yeah, it should. I only have to take a very small amount off the sides to get them to fit in. It'll use 9 of them in total, for around the sides obviously, then a few more for the top and the bottom. Here's all the discs that I'll be using. These are all just leftover offcuts or centres off a laser. I use them for making braziers like this. That guy down there, which is made out of the same discs. It's just 6mm, this is all 10 and so forth, but a bit more chunky. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set them out in rings in this jig I've cut up. My brother's got a water jet, so that's quite handy to make up jigs and things, so that's really good to have. Makes life a lot easier. So yeah, I drew up this jig, cut it out, and basically allows me to place all these in place, and then all I do is just go along and spot weld right the way around, make up I think it's 11 rings that I need, and that will give me the full height of my forge. So and the base will be made up, as you can see there. Again, these don't quite fit out to the sides perfectly, so what I'll do is I'll lay them out outside where they need to expand out, weld it all together, and then probably take it into the water jet and put it in there and cut a circle out of it, so that that'll make the top and the bottom of the unit. So that will have the matting put down flat on it to rest the bricks and pavers on and so forth, as well as around the inside edge as well. What I'm going to do is, because this is core 10, which will rust, I'm not going to bother to try and coat it or anything like that, I don't think. I'll just let it rust, but it will turn the white matting all rusty and yuck. So what I'll probably do is just put a piece of like 0.6mm or something like that stainless around the inside of this, just to keep it tidy and keep it looking nice and give it a bit of a contrast and so forth. But yeah, so that's the plan so far. So what I'll do is I'll get busy with it and get these welded together, and take a video once I've got a bit more done. Okay, so I've got a bit more time in the workshop. This is what I've got done so far. I've got a few rings made up. This one here isn't actually going to stay there, obviously. You can start to see it ideas coming together. This is actually the actual level of the bottom of the foundry forge, whatever you want to call it. This is the actual height of the main layer of tiles. Now that's less than 300 deep. These tiles are 300 long, but it's obviously taken a bit up down the bottom as well. But that's sitting at the right height there, that one. You can see the 9 tiles going round, so you can see the kind of area that we're going to have, which should be a reasonable size, hopefully. But these ones here, down here, I'll be putting 2 more in here, but they'll be cut in half each, so that this is a door. Okay, so if you imagine these 3 here won't be there, and these 2 up here won't be there. Okay, so those will come out and create your entrance in, and then the paver that's in here, or the brick that's in here, will be a half brick with a slope, so that another brick can go in on the bottom here and sit up against it, behind the door. The whole thing will have insulation down in here, but I've got to take quite a bit off these, or a little bit off these anyway, to shrink it up a little bit. But otherwise that's the concept. Now, not being very deep is not a major, because this here, the plan is that the lid will actually have 100mm tiles coming down, okay, and then the lid. So that'll give me about 350 or something mils, which hopefully should be big enough. The big question I have is whether or not I need to put a hole in the back. I'm not too sure yet. I might have to send off a few emails and find out what I can. But otherwise, yeah, it's starting to come along quite nicely, and I'm quite pleased. The burners will be coming in, so basically there'll be one burner here, at this level here, and then there'll be another one up here as well. Again, it doesn't matter that it's up near the top. I'll probably make that one turn off when I go to open it, just so that I don't go cooking my face. But yeah, otherwise it's come along quite nicely. Okay, so I'm going to head down to my brother's workshop in a minute and look at taking some of these discs down with me. I'm going to cut a whole heap of them, about 20 of them I think I need cut in half, to make the top of the forge, the top layer, and also the corresponding layer on the lid. So yeah, I've got to go and cut a whole heap of those in half. I've also got to go and move or cut some with a little tab in them so that I'm able to use them for the door, to hold the door, and then also cut a couple of circles so that I've got somewhere for the burners to go through once the burner pieces go on here. So yeah, alright, so I'll go and do that and put some video up of that and then come back to you once I've done. Okay, so got down and got that done, as you saw. So these are the halves. They're held together. Don't know if you can see it or not. There we go. I stopped at 0.5 of a mil before the end. What that does is it holds them together, so that when it comes to welding them all together, I can just put them still in the jig and weld, and then weld around the top as well, then break them apart. These are the ones for the burners, so again these will go up there, so the burner, well, not necessarily there, but around here somewhere, but yeah, so that the burner has somewhere to go through. And then there's these ones here, which are the ones for the Foundry door, so they'll go in there and they'll act as a little tab set up, so that the bottom, this is the bottom of the door, this is actually going to be welded to the main part. So that's the bottom of the door, which is connected to these three. Obviously another one there, and then the same as this up the top as well, and then yeah, that center section will come out completely. So I've also got a bit of time, so I cut the stainless. So here's one piece of stainless, that's what's going to be behind the door, if you like, and behind here, like so. Like so, once it's bent. And then over the back here we have another piece of stainless. As you can see, has the door cut out of it and so forth, and the two holes for the burner. That piece is actually about 100 mils too short, because it needed to be 1300, and of course most sheets are only 12, but and I didn't have any full sheets to cut it out of, so I've cut a little packer there, which hopefully will line up in the back quite nicely. So yeah, I'll get this all welded together and get that done, and then come back to you and show you what it looks like once those are done. Okay, so I've got the bottom half of the Forge Foundry welded together now, so that's come up exactly how I wanted. You can see the halves here, they've come in quite nicely, it's given a nice flat top. Around the side here we have the two burner holes. I've got these, they're stainless but don't care, that'll do the trick. I'll tack them on there so that they can hold the burners in place. Pointing over towards the other edge there, which is what we want, so we get a nice swirl happening inside that. These will have obviously probably 3 or 4 screws through them to allow them to hold the burners for me. And then of course here we have the door, which opens up, and that allows you in. Now, yeah, so that'll allow half a brick to come down from the top down towards here with that slope on it. So then what we can do is, when it's been used as a forge, we can get a block, a thicker one of these tiles, a thicker, proper full size one, which will be able to fit into there and be able to be taken in and out as you're wanting to put metal in and out, etc. And then when you're wanting to use it as a foundry, you can put the tile, this thickness tile, back in there, put the plate in, and then lock it down. I'll figure out a locking mechanism to hold it. And at the top here, you can see I've got a bit of space here. That was planned, of course. No, the pavers, these pavers are actually sitting down lower than the floor. They're sitting down to the bottom of this at the moment. That's at that height. So I made it like that so that I can decide, once I figure out how I'm going to attach the top or use the top, I'll be able to adjust it up and down as needed with this. So it means I'm either going to have to cut the pavers to go inside these ones, or I'll just put a base of them down and then put these on top, but I haven't decided yet, and we'll see how I go once I figure out what I'm going to do with the top. With the top, I'm thinking of possibly making two, one that's just a flat lid with a hole in it, and then a second one which is a bit taller, but I'm going to have a look at the size of crucibles that we need and see whether or not the depth I've got here, which if I move these pavers up on top of the floor, it means we've got a 300 deep space, so that could well be deep enough, but I'll have a look at that and see what we can do and take it from there. As you can see, I've decided to take the bumps off, take the welds off. I haven't taken them off up here obviously. Take them off. This was mainly for aesthetics, because some of them are pretty gnarly looking welds, but yes, I forgot exactly how many friggin' welds there are. There's a lot of them, so that's alright, I should know, I put them all there, but yeah, so I'm not going to worry about the inside. The inside can stay like that because it's not going to be seen, but I'll take them back like this, Probably going to look at possibly getting it sandblasted and then powder coated with some high temperature powder coat, even though it shouldn't get too toasty, but we'll see. But if not, yeah, probably just get some HD paint from somewhere. So yeah, but it's going well. So I'll put another post up once, another part up once we've gone a bit further.